What's good, YouTube? You already know who it is, man. It is your boy, Jerry Fit, and we are back to react with what's new on the tube, man. We got part 2 of a special banger for y'all, man. Hey, man, we already did part 1 to the Luka Dončić interview of the Mind the Game podcast, man. You guys already know that's hosted by Braun and Steve Nash. So we posted part 1 before the weekend started, and now we got part 2, bro. That just dropped, I think, either today or yesterday. But yeah, man, you already know. Most consistent reactor on the tube. We're posting every single day, making sure you're not missing anything, bro. I got you guys. You already know what I'm going to tell you to do. If you want me to react to any type of video, or if you like this kind of content, let me know in the comments, bro. Send me anything, send me any videos, bro. We're on everything, bro. We're not afraid to react. And yeah, we're just going to kind of jump into it. The first, I really liked the first episode of this one because they were talking about some good points. I like how they really talked about keeping the kids involved with the game, making sure they're not burning out, and like doing what they can to keep kids active. I thought they had a lot of good perspectives on that. So we're gonna see what they talk about this one. And yeah, man, let's just jump into it.
Because it was starting a little bit today, right? It was 80. I lived in Dallas. It's the same. Yeah, you did. They say in Texas, you like the weather, come back tomorrow. Sure. Be honest. It's going to be totally different tomorrow.
I had no idea Texas was like that. I thought it was pretty consistent. I wonder why they split it into 2 parts. Is that how they do every episode?
Welcome back to Mind the Game, brought to you by Uninterrupted and Wondering. This is another conversation with Luka Dončić, centered around the study he commissioned through his foundation called Inside Youth Basketball. Stick around to the end of the episode where I'll talk a little bit more about why I'm on Luka's Athletes Council, why it's important to me, and how we can help improve the landscape of youth basketball. Learn as much as you can, just as I have, and enjoy this episode of Mind the Game.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
One of the things nowadays is that it's an arms race. My kid's got to get ahead. It's like we saw Tiger Woods with a perfect swing on Johnny Carson at 2 years old. And I think that every kid's got to be great, early. I started playing at 13. I didn't get into the league until I was 22. Wasn't really great or a good player until like late 20s. It's okay.
I mean, like that was horrible, bro. Like you didn't get into the league till you're 22 because you had to finish high school and you had to go through the ranks, bro. Like. I didn't get what he was trying to get at there, bro. Like, you don't get into the league very early. I mean, I guess maybe because usually they're one and done kids, but.
They got to be better early. When really, like, we all know you can still be great on social media, too. Because you're seeing everything right now. You're seeing everything over there. Like, when we were growing up, our parents didn't know if this kid was had a trick or what this kid was doing. You didn't really see that shit. Yes.
My GOAT, already starting off hot, man. Already coming out with the good points, bro. Social media, bro, increases the pressure of society by, like, 1,000,000 points, bro. Not even for just sports, like, just in general, bro. Everybody is so, like, pressurized to project that they're, like their best aspects of life. And it's, like, annoying as hell. It's why I take so many social media breaks, because it's, like, bro, if I'm, like, because, like, this is obviously not my first attempt at trying to make content, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm trying to do it and go so hard with it where it's like, bro, I throw my entire, like, mental, like, my entire, like, every ounce of effort that I have into it and just kind of neglect what it's like to be, like, normal. I don't know if that even makes sense, bro. But, like, I start to lose it, bro. Like, I can tell when I'm starting to lose, like, my sanity from social media when I'm, like, way too deep into it, because, like, everything around me starts, being affected negatively as well. So I try to take a lot of social media breaks, obviously, as we grow as a channel. I'll keep you guys updated on that. It's not like I'm just going to disappear out of thin air, especially when you guys are supporting us so much. But just wanted to, offer my opinion.
It was not like we see this kid, he's being trained 5 days a week. Oh shit, well, my kid's not being trained 5 days a week, he's gonna make it. Right. It wasn't, we didn't see that. And now it's not the kid's journey. Right. It's the parent's journey. Whereas when you're growing up, you're thinking, Randy keeps pushing me left. I hate that. I'm gonna learn to go left, right? And now it's just you and him know that we're in this little battle every day. Instead of
the whole world, bro. They be exposing the tricks, man.
I'd love to know from you what the transition was. So you played a lot of informal basketball growing up, other sports, you're on the playground, you're outside school. But what was it like when you went to Madrid? 13 years old? 13. Real Madrid. Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult decision, honestly. First, I didn't know the language. I know that, just like, hello, how are you? But then nobody spoke my language. I was learning a little bit of English, so I knew a little bit. But it was hard. So that's basically that when almost everything moved to.
That's crazy, bro. I remember Luka was in 2K when he was like 16, bro. So that's crazy, man. To think about how, dude, he just uprooted his life to go play pro ball at 13, man. That's nuts what they do overseas, bro. That's like dope, though.
I used to go with the players, with their soccer players. We went to the same school, so we used to play a little bit. They were soccer players, so I couldn't do nothing. But it was a lot. I think first 2-3 months I almost didn't talk to anybody. But that's how I learned Spanish so quickly. And after that, it was an amazing journey, man. It was something that changed my life. But how old were you before? How old were you before? 7 years. That's amazing. Yeah, wow.
7 years, bro.
13 to 19. Yeah, that's incredible. 6 years. Yeah, and what was the structure like in Madrid? I was
gonna say, I thought he entered when he was 18.
Dorm with the family? Yeah, it was in the dorm. My first 3 years.
I wonder what watch that is. That shit looks clean.
We were in.
Sorry.
My first 3 years, they were building a new dorm. And we were in the dorm of the school. So it was 3 people per room. It was very small. Don't speak Spanish. Don't speak Spanish. I had a Brazilian guy, I think. Can't remember. I can't remember what was. Guys were all changed. But first it was cool. So first year, but then we went to a nice. It was then Real Madrid built his own dorm. It was super nice. It was like living in a hotel. So nice. And how was the day? Like, did you go to practice, then school, or school and practice? What was the day like? Yeah, we started at 7:30, something like that. To 8:30 we had practice. And then from 9:15 to 5:30 was school. 9:15 to 5:30. No wonder you're so smart.
Bro, saying that like it's crazy, man.
And then from 6 to 9 was practice.
Man, these guys are lazy, bro. These old heads.
On Wednesday we didn't have practice, but every other day, and that's Saturday, Sunday games. Well, that's a good point because I feel like here, and you can attest to this, Ron, is like we play a lot of games. Yeah, it's different than here. Yeah, explain the difference. Like I think the AAU stuff has got more showcase, game. Whereas it feels like, I don't think Real Madrid's unique in this way, that in Europe in general, you're practicing more than you're playing. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? Yeah, I would still say Real Madrid is unique. Okay, no offense. Real Madrid is Madrid. It's great. Okay, we get it. But I think like in Slovenia, you're not playing 5 games a week. Yeah, no, it's the same. I think the whole Europe is the same. We didn't play that much. It's the same. On the weekends, it's only 2, maybe even 1. Yeah. So it was a lot of practice, but I love practice. We have a lot of.
That's kind of crazy, bro. So in Europe, it's like kind of like football, bro. They practice all week and then they play on the weekends. How do they prefer that to America and how they do their process for sports? I wonder if you guys, I doubt it, but anybody overseas, man, if you're trying to make it or if you're trying to hoop, bro, I just want to hear a little bit about your process, and kind of what's the differences or what's the similarities to America.
That was like half an hour, 45 minutes. Fundamentals, yeah, skills, just to warm up, and then we play. But there's a lot of different exercise playing. It's not just 5 and 5, 2 and 3. It's advantage, 4 and 3, 2 and 3. It's just learning to read. Yeah, learning to react. Like that was an emphasis in Europe. Yes, that's the biggest difference. Yeah, between youth basketball in Europe and America is that it's the development skill, the fundamentals are not expressed. It's like just play.
Oh, Bron got a nice watch too. Sorry to pause in the middle of my goat's point here, but I agree about what he's saying. Like I feel like obviously I don't have experience in Europe overseas as a young kid growing up and developing in sports, but from what I can say here is like the fundamentals, we have gone away from the fundamentals. We have focused more on athleticism versus developing discipline and IQ in sports, and all sports, man. Like if you look at basketball today versus basketball back then, you can clearly see what I'm saying, bro. It's 3 and D basically now. You're hucking up threes and you're getting back on defense now versus games back in the day, bro. You still see it in college, kind of. I feel like college basketball, although I don't watch much, is a lot more play set up. But once you get to the league, man, it's basically free for all. It's like the same in football. I don't know why I'm pausing. It's the same kind of in football where it's like you see teams relying a lot on athleticism, which I'm not hating on. Obviously, it's exciting to watch with the new generation of quarterbacks and shit. But I grew up watching Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time. If you compare Tom Brady football to football nowadays, man, you can clearly see the difference. And you can't even say I'm hating because I'm not an old head, bro. I'm 22.
Their skill, they're not developing the fundamentals. Like you just said, there was times during practice that it was all about advantage basketball, 4 on 3, 3 on 2. If I can create 2 on the ball, then I know we have a numbers advantage. Instead of reading the game that way, a lot of kids think, if I have 2 on the ball,
then I have to figure out a way how to get around this guy or split the double team. I still have to be able to score. And really that is just, it stops you from reading the game. And you can make it through trade school playing that way. You can make it through high school. You can make it through college. And some guys figure out a way to even make it through the NBA. But as far as how to be great, to be great and transcendent.
That's what I'm saying. Like that style of basketball doesn't last that long.
Inspire your teammates, inspire yourself, inspire your family, inspire the game. Being able to be on that.
Someone's got to tell my Celtics this, man.
The difference between how they grow up in Europe teaching the game and how we teach the game here. It's a lost market.
I agree. Bron's been hitting on all these points, man. Even in part 1 was fire. Better not be an ad.
This episode,
I got you, bro. God dang, bro. Taking up the whole thing.
It goes back a little bit to your point about this competitive pressurized system. I think it's about the kid showing how good he is instead of making the right plays, making the game simple. Something you guys have done naturally, and it's probably not all natural. You've learned because you had good coaching along the way to make the right play. Like you can make a spectacular play or make the right play more times than not. Like they're going to put 2 on you guys. And if you go against the 2 all the time, you're not really going to have success. Whereas you make the right decision, like you said, you empower your teammates, you make them feel better, you make the game easier for yourself.
Yep.
It feels like that's different in Europe because coaches aren't all about this kid's going to raise my profile. It's like our team can learn to play together. Did you feel that at Madrid where it's about, of course, we want to develop Luka, but we want to develop a team here that knows how to play the right way?
My brother's watching the game in the background, man. Hey, y'all know I got y'all with the Pacers reaction tonight. You two better not be on bullshit, bro. Better not block my shit.
Hard on me, but hard on everybody. Yeah. Like from 1 to 12, he did the same thing to everybody. It wasn't like just one person. So that's really when I started to playing. Like when I was 15, I started my first practices with the first team. I was scared. I was nervous. But at some point you get used to it. So I debuted when I was 16. I was crazy. I still remember the moment, but I think in Europe, like watching EuroLeague now, watching EuroLeague before, it's just like it's more about the team, team-wise, teamwork. But it's different rules in NBA. I will say that. When I said it's easier to score in the NBA, it's because it's just different rules. You have a lot of more spacing, you have more minutes. It's 8 more minutes. Anything you have to make minutes. So it's just because of that. Like in Europe, you get a big guy, like for example, like Eddie Tavares, who plays in Madrid. He's just standing in the paint. Like, he can stand in the paint. He's 220. It's hard to score. It's impossible.
Oh, can they stay in the paint as long as possible in Europe? I didn't know. Like, there's no violation and shit. I don't hate on that.
The NBA is trying to make it as entertaining as possible too. Right? So the game's slightly different than in Europe, where still maybe the roots of the game are still there. But it is like it's an interesting point to think about the way our kids grew up learning the game, the culture around the game. And that difference is really important. I think you see it so often. Just the thought process. And unfortunately, I think there's something to be said for that creeping into the system and the parents too. Right? They're worried about their kids' position here. Let me make a comment that I have to take some. So I have to part this. My generation of parents, being 51 now, the last kind of 20.
Oh, I thought he said his parents were 51. I was like,
years of parenting, we've been all over our kids, trying to protect them. You just mentioned you had a coach that was all over you. My high school coach, college coach, all my coaches were all over me. Your high school coach was on you. Like he's not putting up with, poor decisions, not playing the right way. That has become so hard nowadays because of the commercialization. Yeah. So whether it's a skills trainer, an AAU coach, you don't feel that your business can suffer losing a kid. Mm-hmm. So it's not as frequent that we're going to tell a kid the truth and be tough on them all the time.
They don't leave.
And in college too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? And now for money. Right. You go on the street for a few bucks.
But at some point, I think you need that.
And you gotta have it. Well, I'm saying it's a disservice to our kids because we have to let them suffer.
I see what they're saying, man.
Pressure that's gonna make you better, not the pressure that's gonna make you not love the sport.
Yeah, I've never got involved with my kids' coaches.
That's
from Brian growing up to where he is now, and Bryce, on his way to Tucson to Arizona. I've never got involved. I've never went to a practice and sat through practice the whole time to see how my son was being utilized. I never got on the phone with the coaches. Listen, he's there, coach my son, coach him however he wants to. And I think you need to hold him accountable I hope you hold him more accountable than any other kid.
And I give respect to Braun for that because, you know, a lot of parents, bro, especially a lot of parents nowadays are sensitive as hell, bro, and they don't want their kids taking real criticism, bro. They want to, like, ego boost their kid to the point where they think that they're, like, the best player ever. You know, they can't make any single mistake. And that's bad for the game overall because then you get products like the NBA, bro, where everybody's just chucking up a million threes a night, bro. Nobody's playing any defense, bro. It's lazy as hell, bro. Missed passes, wide open, people in the corner and you're trying to take on three people, bro. I'm talking to you, Jason Tatum. I'm talking to you, Jaylen Brown, bro. These guys don't know how to play team basketball anymore, man. The whole fundamental thing, like the whole criticism, we went away from that like years ago, bro. This is coming from a diehard Celtics fan.
And say what the fuck you need to say, no matter how it's being said, because it's not. Sometimes it's not. If you can just take the message, and not about how he said it, just take the message.
Yes, bro. And like the players get scared. It's like, bro, like they feel like they're being bullied by their coaches when their coaches are just holding them accountable, coaching them hard because they think that they can go somewhere. But they want to hear what they want to hear, man, and they get their feelings hurt, and then they can't play, man. That's tough.
And I think it's part of the reason why they are where they are at their stages in their lives. Babying your kid and always, thinking that your kid is this and thinking your kid is that, and not allowing coaches to coach them or not allowing people to be hard on them. And as soon as the coach or someone says something to them, you pull them.
Is this not what I just said? Is this not what I just said, bro? Shout out LeBron, man.
When someone says something bad about your kid, you're the first person to go talk to his face. It's like, you fucking go crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly, bro.
Really, life is way more no's than yes. If our kids aren't used to hearing no, like how are they going to survive when they're adults, right? I think that's what, right, as parents, my generation of parents, putting myself in this picture, we're so scared to let our kids fail, let them struggle, let them learn from that failure. Now, how do they face, moments of adversity, resilience? How do they build those scars? So, I think all three of us were fortunate. Like, it changed. It was pivotal in my journey that my college coach was on my ass every day.
Where did Steve Nash go to college?
And that, in particular, that coach when you were 15 was one of the main ones. Like, give me examples. Because I don't think kids today understand. Like, they're going to say, oh, sure, Luka's coach never yelled at him.
Yeah, no, he did. I think one example was it was quarterfinals or around 16. We were up by like 30 at halftime, but I was bullshitting a little bit. No. He yelled at me. He made me cry.
At halftime?
Yeah. But that's like, this coach changed a little bit how I view basketball in the time. Like that year, I think we didn't lose a game. And we won.
That's what you need, bro. You need coaches like that, man. Because anything can happen, bro. You still have a whole half of basketball to play. You're fucking off now, and they catch up, bro. That's your ass.
Especially coach. I learned for that. He did that for me.
And then that's his ass, too, for letting y'all act like that, bro. Joe fucking Mazzulla. Take a page out of his coach's book, bro. Go spend some time in Europe. Go coach at Real Madrid, bro. Go know what it's like to fucking coach a superstar.
You're not going to college. Like, that experience was pivotal for me. So you're lucky, right? You got a high school coach that was like, this is how you're going to play.
Absolutely. He's on my ass from day one. My high school coach was a college coach at Eastern Michigan. That's right. At one point. And so
he knew what you were going to see.
Yeah. So he knew, what I was going to see. He actually coached a couple of pros that made it to the NBA, while he was in college. But, from day one when I stepped foot, as a freshman, he was literally like on me crazy, and like one story, because he was out of his mind. He was a lunatic. He just finally retired from coaching last year. Finally was retired. But my freshman year, I made, all county, all city, all state. We didn't lose a game my freshman year. We won the state championship. I was state championship MVP for the tournament. And, so I come in first practice my sophomore year. I'm kind of feeling myself a little bit. We won it all. I'm getting a little praise, whatever. First day of practice my sophomore year, he kicked me out of practice.
Just to put the marker down.
Just to put the marker. He looked at me and said, best sophomore in the country, my ass. Get the fuck out of here. He kicked me out of practice my
Well, what did you do?
and I was pissed off. Like, what the fuck is wrong?
Was he picking on me?
They were picking on me. But he set the tone. He set the tone for that season. It's like, I'm not going to even allow you to even think about getting overly confident or having a big head coming in. Because this shit is not about you. It's about what we're trying to build. And he knew, like, you are the guy, but I'm not about to give you no indication that you are. So
It's like Brady and Belichick, man. I don't see anything. I mean, it's crazy that he was in high school, man, and he did that. But I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Especially like, bro. Obviously, LeBron can take it, bro. Like, it's not always just on the kids, man. Like, being a coach is hard too. Like, you have to understand the people that you're coaching. So I'm sure the coach, after spending a year with him, was able to understand, like, bro, like, what makes Braun go, and
being held accountable and being a player's coach, being able to be coachable. And so absolutely, just having that tough.
Just wanted to make sure.
Gift that day.
Absolutely.
But you don't realize it in the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many practices we've been in, and for us to be able to remember two moments in our careers, that shit is instilled in our brain, and it played a part of who we are today.
Yeah, and unfortunately, going back to this again, like how many parents are allowing that these days?
Yeah.
Right, that's the tough part. How was your dad? Being a great player in your league, like what was his part of your basketball journey?
I mean, I don't think he didn't get involved.
Yeah,
Like you said,
it was a great lesson.
like he said, with his kids, he don't talk to the coach. We were just, being there to support, but didn't do much. Like what I'm saying.
Braun by the face of that bottle, man.
Right, it's the same. Like, if I went home.
Oh, you pulling everybody up? Yeah, he like, Luka, you got to drink with me too. You know what I'm saying? What is that? His brand? His wine brand?
Yeah, he said, my dad would have said to me, "What'd you do, you little shit?" What'd you do? You must have done something, right?
No, but facts though, man. Like, bro, back in the day, bro, especially growing up in my era, man. Like, bro, like, your parents were holding you accountable for everything. Like, nowadays, you never see that, bro. People are so afraid to take accountability, bro, for anything. Like, bro, even if it wasn't my fault, it was my fault back in the day. If you know, bro. Growing up Caribbean, especially Haitian. Oldest child too, by the way, man. If you're Haitian, spam it up in the comments, bro. I know you already know what I'm talking about, bro.
Right? Yeah, I think it's look, it's not like we're gonna put out about right, but things like your program can help, like just make headway.
Awesome. Step by step. I think it's awesome. Step by step. Baby steps. That's awesome.
Continue to just make a little influence on the way.
If Braun thinks it's awesome, so do I.
The parents, but I do think we have to help educate parents. Because a lot of them don't know.
Yeah.
How would they know? Right? They're told, you got to sign them up for this, that. They got to be with me all year round. They don't understand. Let the kid run his own, hers own race. Let them figure it out, find the joy and passion in them, and all those things that are so important. I think that your program is giving us a chance. Like you committed money and resources through your foundation to commission a study. Like, it's not just us three talking.
Right.
Hopefully we know a few things for our experiences, but you commissioned a study. Like, it's an amazing commitment to the landscape, right?
Congrats.
Yeah,
Congrats.
Really.
You're involved as well, right?
I'm here to help.
That's pretty fucking cool.
We'll be calling you too.
I got a couple ideas.
My goat Braun, bro. Braun's always getting involved, man. For the love of the game. I like how they rebranded this podcast. A lot of people were hating when it was JJ Redick. I think it was a good decision. I think it was a good decision to switch.
In Europe and Madrid, they're teaching you to play and think through the prism of team game, making the right decisions. Our kids are a little bit corrupted, partly by social media. That's about his bag. He's got this. What can he do? What does this even mean? Bag of tricks. But think about it. Like, you guys both you made a couple tonight, crazy shots. You made a couple tough fadeaways tonight. But
when was this recorded?
You guys are great players because most of the time you can do the easy shit.
This is recorded right after a game, bro. Dang.
Make your open threes. Okay, then you get.
Shout out Luka and Braun, bro. That's very impressive.
One, I'm making fundamental plays, not your bag, right? I know they don't talk about that in Europe when you're growing up.
Yeah, no. I never heard the thing bag since until I came to the NBA.
When I was growing up, it wasn't talking about it. Like, the least amount of dribbles to get where you need to get to.
Right. Efficiency.
Michael Jordan wasn't out there dribbling 1,000 times, to get to the spot.
Exactly right. We've gone away from the fundamentals. Oh my gosh. Y'all ain't see that, man.
All these guys that I grew up, Grant Hill, get to a spot. I'm bigger than you. Dog Robinson, I'm bigger than you. Allen Houston, all these great players.
Damn, bro.
Watching and admiring Penny Hardaway. Yes, they can dribble the basketball, but it's no Tracy McGrady. Even as great as Tracy's handle was, it was, I'm bigger than you. I get to the spot and at least amount of dribbles. Kevin Garnett. It's
good footwork,
just good footwork, get over the top. If I'm bigger than you and I get you on my shoulder, I get you on my hip, I'm gonna use my side. I see it all the time. It's like, I'll be on social media, like, Braun has no bag. I'm sitting over here, like, what is that? Braun has no bag, and I'm sitting like, I got a 50 billion points.
Right. Leading scorer of all time in the NBA.
And it just goes to show, bro, like, you can't just listen to things that anybody says, man. Because, like, dude, then there's irrelevant people online saying he has no bag. Literally the most points in NBA history, bro, and continues to keep adding to it.
That proves the point.
Yes.
Like, bro, people are just stupid, man.
And I hope that our generation, our younger generation, don't get, swamped by saying, okay, I need a bag, I need a bag, I need a bag. Like, work on your game, know what you're going to be good at in order to help the team, and prove that next year to be a better player. Right. If you come in as a guy as my offensive game is not developed, come in, you defend, you get extra possessions, you get extra rebounders for the guys. Okay, then next year you work on your game in the offseason. It's only one or two, if you want to, 3 guys maximum. It's going to be handling the fucking ball anyways. Right. We don't need you to have that. It's only going to be, we have the luxury of having 3 guys, us 2 and AR, but not many teams have 3 guys that's going to be handling the ball like that anyway.
Uh-huh.
You can make $200 million in the NBA if you defend and shoot a corner 3-pointer.
Bro, what have I said, bro? We have lost the fundamentals, bro. I've been saying this all game, bro. All you need is to be able to defend and shoot threes, bro. 3 and D is the game today.
I'm saying you're gonna play.
But that's the biggest point, and I'd love to hear your.
You got some guy on no ball?
All the time you're doing this that you're never ever going to use as the levels go up. If you can just make open shots, space the floor, play smart, like you can go up a level.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And like he said, I have nothing more to add.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing.
But it's true, yeah.
But the thing is, like, you guys are creators. In the way the game's played today.
Luka said he had nothing more than that, dude. The way that Luka can pass the ball is extremely impressive, bro. He's selling himself short here, being humble, but
Space for the creator. They make you better by creating space. You make them better by being a creator. The minute one of them starts doing this, they're going out of the game. Yeah. Right. So it's interesting the way we perceive, or we allow our kids to perceive that. I don't know why that has been able to have a louder voice in coaching and fundamentals and team play.
Right.
I think one important thing is, like, for guys, know your role.
facts.
What you do, do that. Don't do something that you're not good at. It's not gonna help.
It's an explosion.
Such an important part of winning teams is knowing your role. Right?
Facts.
Being able to be good at your role, right? When guys start to have the wrong perspective on their role.
People get hungry, yeah. Ego hungry, you're trying to just do everything, man. Being selfish.
Appreciate the fundamentals rather than the highlight reels, the mixtapes.
That's what we teach.
I think that's a great word. I think, unfortunately, there's not enough teaching.
There's not enough teachers.
Right. Not enough teachers. Great point.
My goat, bro.
The teachers don't know what the hell they're teaching.
Right.
This is my glorious King LeBron James, everybody.
It's a game to learn.
I mean, there's a lot of learning.
And that watch is so clean.
Because they play a lot of games, like practice. But in the end, like, the greatest players come from America, so there's something good.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you could make a case that of the top players in the league, there's got to be 5 of the top 5 to 10 are from Europe.
Correct.
Right?
Now.
Yeah. Right? But
Not
why?
before.
Well, why?
What is he saying, bro? Is he saying LeBron? I mean, is he saying Jordan is the GOAT? Yo, because he's a Jordan athlete.
I think what we're talking about plays a role in this.
Forgot.
I'll make a statement that'll probably be aggregated, and I'll be a meme for this, but America's not great at flipping all of it. I'm not saying there's not great.
Why is that
coaches,
a meme?
Great coaches here.
These old heads, man, like, bro, do you even know what a meme is? Why would that be a meme, bro?
Yeah, but not enough. I think one of the problems with America in all sports to defend America is it's too big. I mean, there's no one way, there's no one system, there's no one idea. We're all competing, and I think that's allowed the commercialization to kind of influence the game.
That's a good point.
Think about Slovenia. Right, it's like it might right now, but that's another topic. but like Slovenia, 2 million people wins a Euro.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy to think about, right? But that's
Wait, what did he say?
Yeah.
another topic. but like Slovenia, 2 million people wins a Euro.
Yeah.
Like that's
Oh, 2 million people
crazy
compared to what?
right? But that's because it was fundamentals, it was team play. Like you could say, I mean, you were what, 18, 17? 18? You could say, okay, well, we didn't know that Luka completely had you go to the tournament. We knew you were going to be an NBA player. We didn't know you were going to be what you are. Yeah. You kind of announced.
I don't know either.
Yeah. But you announced yourself there in Madrid and the Euro League, all that stuff. But the teamwork, right? 2 million people. You see it all over the world. I think sometimes we forget, like, America's so big.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. 2 million people in one country is crazy.
Like when you live in Slovenia, you live in some of these countries that's not as big as obviously, America says it's a sense of pride to be able to go out there and represent your country.
Yeah.
Everything is city based here. And it took a while for us, as far as the Olympics, to get that sense of pride back. When we got our ass kicked in 2004, then we lost in the World Championship in 2006. It took us time to be like, oh, like, this is real.
Yeah, like we're all playing for one flag.
Getting better at the game of basketball, but it's a sense of pride too. And when you have that sense of pride, you have a sense of work ethic that goes a lot longer. You have a sense of accountability that's a little bit longer.
Yes.
You have a sense of just
when you care, like when it matters, it's just different.
What you're representing. And I think a lot of that has to do with it too, because it's your city. So it's like America, but it's like everybody's like, where are you from? I'm from Chicago. I'm from Houston. I'm from LA.
Nobody says America.
Yeah, no one says that. Yeah, everyone says the city they're from. And it's country based all over the world. It's like it's a sense of pride. And you see that. Like, I've obviously been a part of 4 USA teams to be able, and then you see that, you feel that. You actually really feel it. You feel it from not only the competition on the floor, but you feel it from the fucking chance.
Yep, bro. Soccer games and fucking football games overseas is fucking nuts compared to shit. Wait, what are they saying? I was just gonna say, like, seeing the stadiums, differences and shit, way different than any shit over here.
So
That's what they play. That's what they play every year.
But that's an interesting point about the cities, is that you see, like, if there's a way out, like, that's the way out for a lot of American players, right? How somebody else can play. You can't not play for Slovenia, right? Like, you all feel like we gotta play because we're all we have.
Yeah,
Like,
so they all care.
Feeling though, and the connection with the fans. Because I went back for Goran Dragic's tournament game was sold out in like 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Damn.
I mean, we had some great names coming, so.
That's true. But still, like,
Nash.
yeah. But still, like, for
You recruiting him to be a coach?
a country that size, like, it's gotta be. There's a connection. There's a way. We have to play this way. We
Thought
have
it
to beat
froze.
all our guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was playing, I was because of pride, and I like to represent my country.
Shout out Luka, man.
There's, my country lives for, like, sports. There's a lot of, for how small we are, I think we have a great sports people.
Oh, we do.
Bicyclists, we have ski
Pogačar?
jumpers, skiing.
How do you say Pogačar?
Pogačar.
Pogačar. Close. How many Tour de France do you win?
I don't know. Put a lot, probably.
He's won a few. You got NBA, you got soccer, you got ski jumpers, everything. You guys,
Yeah.
for 2 million people, it's incredible.
It's a lot. So, but that's when, like, the crowd is into it, I think we give back a lot to our country. So that's why the crowd and people are really into sports.
That's awesome. Well, I want to salute you on
Absolutely.
this incredible inside youth basketball study.
Thank you.
I'm happy to be along for the journey.
Cheers. Hey, cheers, man. Hey, appreciate you guys, man. I think that's probably gonna wrap it up. Yep.
I hope you enjoyed that.
Yep. Hey, man, that's gonna do it for this video, bro. Hey, low key, let me know if you guys want me to start reacting to these Mind the Game podcasts, bro. I wouldn't mind doing reactions to them. This podcast was another banger, bro. I really liked how all the points that they had. I like how they continued like the subject from the first part to this part, and then kind of went deeper into it. Pause. That was mad crazy, but anyway, yeah, I think these guys have a really good podcast overall. So if you guys want me to keep reacting to them, I will. Just let me know in the comments, man. Let me know any videos that you want me to react to as well, bro. You already know, most consistent reactor. We are not afraid to react to anything over here, man. Posting every single day. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you don't miss anything. I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I'll see you in the next video. Hell yeah. So, PMC.